Hello YouTube, and welcome back to GrunfWorks. This is episode 2 of their Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration. In the previous episode we have just gathered some science and constructed a small probe that went up to in the atmosphere, and also built a couple of components from which we built a small plane that we were able to test and see just go strictly after the runway back into the water and see that our craft floats for one reason and gather some science from the water. Now we're using that science to unlock a few more experiments, as well as some control surfaces. I'm just now looking through the different possibilities, and yeah, this one cost 1 research, so I'll pretty much inclined to research it. Now unmanned rocketry gives us some probe cores. Sure, basic construction gives us decoupler, and I'm completely, by the way, new to this audio stack tree, so I have literally no idea where the stuff is. So I'll be seeing it for the first time as pretty much as some of you guys. So I think I will keep on to this 18 points of science, and I will use the upgrade points that we have accumulated through opening of this researching of this nodes to accelerate a little bit our SPH or Spaceplay Hangar build time. So as you unlock the science nodes, you can use the points that you accumulate to either improve the quickness of your R&D or to increase your build speeds. And this is what I did. So once again we will use the microplane that we have been flying in that Jeb has been flying in the previous episode, and we will modify it a little bit using the new parts that we have just unlocked. So this ugly piece of tail has to go. Put some real tail fin instead. And here I'm kind of configuring if I wanted a twin tails or a single tail. I think for this time being single tail will do. I will also remove the back parachute and replace it with some more science stuff. So sensor array computer, to get us some more of that sweet science. Then we have the atmosphere scanner, and of course the inevitable mystery goo. Since that one is not repeatable, I'll guess I'll take 2 of these. Let us just quickly check our center of mass, center of lift. So far they look cool. Let's put some canards in front. I'm also, while putting them, keeping my eye on how our center of mass and center of lift looks like. So I decided to move the mystery goo more forward to the cockpit. And as you can see, we still have these parachutes that will stop us in midair for landing, because clearly we don't have enough control authority to be able to do it ourselves. So let us add another mystery goo here, perhaps just before the tail fin. Also, I try to avoid clipping where I can, because I consider it to be a little bit cheaty, despite the fact that Squad basically in the 090 said that clipping is basically okay, and you actually do need to do it sometimes when you construct your craft. Okay, so far our craft looks good, so we'll call it Microplane Mark 1B, and let us crew it. Well, Jab we have taken the last time, so I really want to take somebody else. I want ultimately to have more than a single pilot and level up a few. So let's take Edlo here. By the way, if you really want to be in the save, please put your name and your profession that you want to be in the comments below, and I will try to accommodate to put you in one of my saves. We'll see for which missions you will be selected, but you will be in the astronaut complex at least. Okay, and now we're deciding to build this. We already seen that the prototype flies, so I really do not think we actually need to go in details and simulate it again. I will be mostly using the simulation for just the new craft that we previously haven't built and tested. So we have 13 days until this build is complete, so let us warp to that. By the way, this Kerbal construction time really gives a sense of passage of time, so your missions become a little bit more meaningful, especially if you're playing with life support. But for this episode we will be mostly flying around Kerbin and trying to get some science around the KSC before we actually get enough science points to unlock the technology that would enable us to go to space. And our science alert is already alerting us that we have new science. Well, let me just turn auto collect to be true. And collect all data, because we want all the data to move into the capsule. So, atmosphere analysis. Atmosphere conditions look good for takeoff. Punch it. And we will, shortly. Atmosphere pressure scan. No storm fronts detected. Perfect day for a flight. Yeah. Mystery goo? The goo seems to behave very much as the same as it always does around here. Okay, so nothing strange here. Okay. So let's listen to what our science is telling us, and let's just punch it. Turn off the brakes. Throttle to max and hit it. This is a very small plane and it basically takes off on a dime, so... And we have some more experiments to do. Atmosphere analysis. A noisy seagull gets its beak stuck in the atmosphere. So let me just quickly see. Goo jiggles and wobbles and the craft flies. A noisy seagull gets its beak stuck in the atmosphere sensor housing. You have to reset the experiment. Sure. 100 million pascals. This can be right. And we have another atmosphere analysis over water. You ran an atmosphere analysis recording various measurements like temperature, pressure and atmosphere. Sure. And we are already going around Mach 1. Adlu, you might want to take it down a notch. After all, we are flying really fast, really quickly. Let us turn. As I said, we want to go to gather science around the KSC. So today I think we will be mainly visiting grasslands, maybe a couple of these mountain ridges behind, and try to get as much science as we can from there. By the way, in this save I'm trying to follow a real path progression. So basically just sending some model rockets into space, trying to understand how they work, then trying to get a little bit more understanding of the avionics and how the flight systems look out by building sample planes, going around Kerbin, exploring stuff, see how, let our pilots get a couple of experience, and then hopefully get our technology to the level where we can actually go to space, and then after go to take the orbit, build some probe satellites, and then as we noticed other planets like Moon, Minmus, then continue onward. So I'm really excited about this save. Atmosphere analysis. Atmosphere seems to be calm. Crew report. Hey, I can see my house from here, I think. Temperature. The temperature seems to be cool and comfortable. It's probably due to the acres of green grass that stretch on the horizon. I will definitely not be taking an EVA report just yet, because we're still flying. But what I might consider doing is actually popping the chutes here and let us basically land this thing. By the way, I do realize that maybe a better way would be to attempt the landing, but I will probably do that at a later stage. Right now I'm just trying to land as simple as possible and to land on the biome, because it's a little bit rough terrain and I don't have yet nor the air brakes or the drogue chutes or anything like that, so we're trying to be as simple as possible at the moment. In the later stage I might design some VTOLs that would be able to do much more complex maneuvers. Okay, the chute's opened, and now it's all about landing down. The brakes are on. I have done that mistake many times, especially with the probes. You forgot the air brakes or the brakes, and then when you land, your craft drifts nicely from you. Mission Control says don't panic. I tend to agree with them. EVA so high up definitely wouldn't be a good place to start panicking. A couple of 100 meters and 20 meters, 15, and we're down. Whoa. Okay, Edlu, don't pull a wheelie on us yet. Atmosphere? There's lots of gases, nitrogen and methane here. Clear evidence of both greenery and cows. A blade of grass caught in the outer casing of the sensor obstructs your view of the display. Oh well, I'll make just something up. Crew report? You look forward to opening the capsule door and smelling the fresh air and earthy smell of glass. Oh yeah, we have to wear these stupid spacesuits even on Kerbin. Whose great idea was that? I really wouldn't know. Mystery goo. The goo takes the shape of a leaf. How nice of it. The temperature here is quite pleasant, and it would be a nice place to live. I couldn't agree more. EVA? Mission Control assure you don't panic. We already have that, so I believe we have to stand. Okay, surface sample. Yep, it looks like dirt. It looks like grass more actually. As you go trudging through the grass, you hope you didn't step on a cow patty. The spaceship will stink for the rest of the trip. Yeah, it would be really nasty to step in the cow patty. Okay, I think we have gotten all the signs that we could, so let us just call for the recovery boys. Let us see how much sweet science. 135 science, and Edlu has become a Kerbal experienced operational service, first Kerbin on surface, first landing on Kerbin, dangerous EVA, and G-Force 5. Wow, a lot of ribbons for Edlu then. Okay, let us see what secrets can we uncover here. I definitely want to go for the control surfaces because this gives me also air brakes, which I very much need. And I want to go further with the science. Let's see, seismic, or these are more expensive. Scanners, not just yet, or probes, not the probes, maybe the scanners. Well, seismic definitely. Gravity. Here we have the gravioli, or the moisture analyzer. I think the gravioli is more useful because it can be used on multiple biomes. Frequency, ooh, that one is pricey. So we have 30 more. What can we do with 30 more science? We have wings here that cost 25. Cockpits are 30. And landing gear. Canards. Wings. Basic construction we have on the other side that costs 10. I'm still trying to make up my mind which one I will take. Well, the decoupler is useful and the struts are definitely useful. And here I have swept wings, structural wings, and so on. It's not an easy decision. And here we have some probe cores that might be useful for exploring the space. Anything else here? Not really sure. You know what? I'm leaning towards wings. Let's research the probe cores. We will actually need them to get some satellites and to get some atmospheric science tested. Why the hell not? And we can also get maybe the maybe the struts. Yeah, let's go for that for now, because we will need to go constructing supports, decouplers, and okay, aerodynamics not, but electrics definitely, batteries, lamps, and solar panels. Yeah, we will definitely need that too if we want to go to space. So let us use upgrades to upgrade now VAB building speed. And let us do a little bit of update on our plane. We definitely want to add some ailerons on the back, so we get a little bit more yaw authority on the tail. And let us just pitch to 0, roll to 0, yaw to 100. Cool. Ailerons on the wings to add some pitch and yaw authority, so the plane will become easier to maneuver. And here we want to disable the yaw. I'm thinking almost to use this as a flaps, but I'm not really that custom. And disable the yaw on the forward canards. Okay. Now let's go for science. We have 2 more experiments to add, and that's gravioli and seismic science. So let us put seismic science. Here, and gravioli. We can put it here. We don't need to, but just for symmetry's sake, why not? So Mark 1C, and now we call it Science Gatherer. And I've made a typo here. Yeah. Gatherer. This one will take 21 days to build. So as we're adding new components, the Kerbal construction time does increase, despite the fact that we are reusing some components. They are being decreased. So as our craft gets more complex, it takes a little bit more time to build. And we want to add some air brakes, so that I can actually perform some real landings, not like just parachuting down. Like this. And then we would need to bind them to the action group actually. I usually use action group 9 for this. and let's put another 2 air brakes somewhere here. When you need to slow down, it's important to be able to slow down quickly if you need to. And I'll put this on a separate action group so that I can choose between 1, 2 or 3 sets of air brakes. I found that to be a really flexible setup. Let us build. I mean, like I said, it's no point of simulating the vessel that we have already tried. When we are trying a completely new design, that's a completely different story. Let us see how much time it will take us to build it. 21 days. So let us warp to completion. Okay, the building is complete, so let us launch it. And oh, I didn't hire a new one. Jeb, or let's put Adlu. He needs a little bit more science or a little bit more experience anyway. Jeb is a sort of our test pilot. He pilots first time the craft, and Adlu is a little bit more like just a regular Joe flyer. So now I'm trying to accelerate to get to the actual dawn, but in the end I figured, what the hell, let us just launch as it is. It will be a nice nighttime flight anyway, because last time we flew during the daytime. Might as well give it a nighttime spin. And once again our trusty science alert warns us that we have some new science. Turn auto collect. And let's see. Gravity. You are too busy dodging planes to get an accurate reading. Really? The ground here conducts vibrations about as effectively as concrete. You report your findings to the tower, but they don't seem overly impressed. Yeah. This being a concrete is really a big revelation for them. Let us punch it and let's get some actual science. Gear up. Reduce the thrust a bit, and as I said, now we would be going a little bit more further inland. So I was originally thinking of going to the island, but I'm more now inclined to go somewhere further back. So let me think. Yeah, I'm thinking more towards the mountains behind the KSC, because there is a lot of potential science to be had, and I think it will be also fun to fly there. And now we're going well over 1.8 Mach. It's clearly evident we have some high dynamic pressure, so let's see. Atmosphere analysis, EVA, temperature scan. So let's read through them. The snow and ice of the mountains has gotten stuck to the display of the thermometer. As you wipe it off and take a reading, you're reminded of the snacks you have at home. Even at this low altitude, the atmosphere seems to be thin here. You get a great view of the highlands. Okay, so these were the highlands. We have more to cross over mountains. So now we're just toggling auto collect all data. And here we go. Let me just quickly press through everything and then we're gonna read it. It's cold, okay, just where you are going, and please don't turn off the SAS again. The atmospheric analysis reads refreshing in the cold mountain air. The mountains rise up from the ground. I didn't have enough time to read this. By the way, this is post-commentary, so note to myself, give myself a little bit more time when reading stuff. Okay, punching the air brakes, and let us turn back and go home. We have gathered some signs that we wanted. So first I'm slowing down to a more acceptable speed, say roughly around Mach 1. And then we will slowly be turning towards the KSC again. By the way, you have probably noticed I'm playing with environmental visual enhancements together with Astronomer's Pack, and I think it was beta. I tried to put Interstellar, but it was so much memory taxing on my system, and given that I play with well over 60 mods, I found it to be a little bit tedious, so I couldn't really actually play with it. My game just keeps crashing. And you can maybe see, but I'm playing this on an OpenGL because I'm really trying to squeeze every single megabyte of the memory that I have available to use for the actual mods and potential fun gameplay. So, Adlu turning back, and we're trying to descend a little bit to give you guys a nice, better view over the mountains as we're crossing over. We're still going pretty high and pretty fast. We're going around Mach 1.1. So once again I'm re-enabling my engines, although with a very low thrust. As we are coming up to the mountains. Yeah, the science alert is clearly reminding me that it wants an EVA report, which I think, given the current conditions, it would be just plain suicide. So I'm not gonna oblige. There will be probably some other mission that will have to go and come and take the EVA report from the mountains. I'm trying now to guesstimate where the KSC is because I cannot see it clearly. I like what the clouds do when you're playing the Kerbal Space Program. I mean, it's not completely realistic to have a clear line of sight and not see anything. This way, when you're flying around the clouds, you still have to, guesstimate where the things are and going a little bit around. So I really like what they do to the gameplay. And right now I have decided to punch my chutes and maybe go down because I wanted to go and get some science from the highlands. The problem with it being is that I'm a little bit worried that I will probably overshoot it because I was going very fast. So let's see. Still on highlands, come on. Shoot, slow me down and let's land. Oh, crap. Grasslands, highlands. So the biome is already switching beneath me. I'm getting slightly concerned that I will miss the highlands, and yes. The Kerbal engineer says we're biome grasslands. Well, we already got the science from grasslands, so I'm not really sure if there's any benefit to it. Yeah, well, never mind. Let us just ditch that. I'm thinking cutting the chutes and flying back to the KSC. So let us cut the chute. Cut the other chute. I might regret this at some point, but yeah. This practically makes us require that we actually go and land this the regular style. So go for the runway and let us land. We have no longer the courtesy of the chutes. But I think it's about time, because Edlu has already flown one mission before, so from the point of the other Kerbals he is now considered a little bit more veteran pilot. I mean, it's hard to call the pilot veteran after one single mission, but still, given that the others haven't even picked their noses or whatever they have for nose outside of the KSC, he has almost the most experience of everyone. So let us just now go and land at the runway and gather some sweet science that we have gotten from the mountains. Let us put away the far window. We're cruising at 150 meters per second, which is pretty decent. And we have now the air brakes, which should hopefully slow us down sufficiently enough that we can land easily on the runway. I'm just now trying to line up with the runway and punching a single set of air brakes. This is what I said, guys. I mean, a single set of air brakes or a dual set of or three sets of air brakes gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of how hard you want to brake when approaching the runway. Okay, looking good so far. Edlo coming in for his first landing. Landing lights enabled, gear down. First set of air brakes is on and off more or less. I'm just trying to maintain a nice down glide slope. Okay, getting ready for the flare. Punching the air brakes. Oh, ow. No! Wow. Okay, this was completely unplanned. Oh well. Looks, yeah, Edlo Kerman has died. Was killed. Clearly, normally I would revert to a quick save, but given the fact that it was entirely the pilot or my error, I will have to go with this. It seems that our space program has claimed its first victim. So he has gotten quite a bit of ribbons, and yes, as you can see, he is dead. We have lost the science, and we have more importantly lost a good colleague, a brave Edlu Kerman who has went and piloted the stuff away. Gotten us some very nice test of the plane and very sweet science, so we have lost pretty much everything in this flight. Nevertheless, I believe Edlu should be commended for his bravery and his gallantry in the light of his risking his life for the betterment of the Kerbal space program. So we will award him posthumously with a high award. Let me just try and see one ribbon that would be fitting. First casualty, Diamond Ribbon, the highest honor awarded for exceptional courage, unselfishness and valor. By the way, we have already come to the end of this episode. Like if you like the video, subscribe for more content. Thank you very much for watching. This is GrunfWorks signing off.